Well, the Constitution is clear, and that, of course, is the supreme law of the land, that the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at. Look, a lot of it depends on whether the courts do the right thing or not.
Well, joining me now is former federal prosecutor and best-selling author Jeffrey Toobin and retired U.S. District Court Judge Shira Shenlin. Jeff, Ms. Osterg is out of detention the same day that Stephen Miller says about the White House might suspend habeas corpus, saying that there's an invasion. I'm not sure if it's an invasion of Turkish graduate students or exactly who the invasion he's referring to is, but what's your reaction?
You know, talking about suspending habeas corpus is such a wild step. You know, the only time a president has done it unilaterally without the authorization of Congress was Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War, when Congress wasn't even in session and couldn't ratify what he was doing. I mean, habeas corpus goes back to the Magna Carta in the 13th century. The idea that someone in custody has the right to go to court to challenge their incarceration, that is so basic to Anglo-American law, and that's one reason why suspending habeas corpus is considered such an extreme step. This is an example of how losses in court is causing this administration to escalate its rhetoric, and we'll see where it goes.
Judge Shenlin, I'm wondering what you make of Judge Sessions' ruling that there's no evidence here absent consideration of the op-ed.
Well, he's absolutely right. There is no evidence that this person was a Hamas supporter or a terrorist supporter, had given any aid to terrorism. She wrote an op-ed along with 3 other co-authors, and that's called free speech. We're allowed to write op-eds in this country. I've done it. Maybe you've done it. A lot of people have done it. There's nothing wrong with it. So there was never any basis to pick her up and to hold her for 6 weeks in detention when she's a woman who has a serious medical condition. This is all wrong, and Judge Sessions quickly ruled. You notice he ruled from the bench. He didn't wait to write a written opinion. He's a very experienced judge. Actually,
You know him?
Yeah, I know him. We went on the bench at the same time. He's been doing it 30 years. So he's experienced, he's fast, he's smart. He did what he did, and he did the right thing.
And the idea of eliminating habeas corpus?
Well, what Stephen Miller said was ridiculous. I think Jeff Toobin used another word, but it's loony. It's loony to do that. There's no invasion. And 2 judges have recently said, in the context of the Alien Enemies Act, there's no invasion. So I heard your joke. Maybe the invasion is of Turkish graduate students, but there's clearly no invasion in this country. So there wouldn't be a basis in the world to suspend the great writ, the writ of habeas corpus.
Jeff, I mean, what happens to Osterg now? I mean, the government is still expected to try to deport her. It just can't detain her during the process. She sort of lives, I guess, with a sort of Damocles over her head. But can she be deported because of the op-ed?
I think if that's all the evidence they have, she probably would win a deportation case. You know, I think it's so hard to keep track of all these cases that I think it's just important to focus on how simple this case is. Unlike, say, Mr. Abrego Garcia, who was the person sent to El Salvador, you know, Ms. Osterg was legally in the United States. There's no question she's legally in the United States. And it is also true that non-citizens have First Amendment rights in this country. So the idea that you can get thrown out of this country when you are legally in the country simply for writing an op-ed piece like the one you've quoted would be a tremendous departure from our free speech traditions. And we'll see if the government pursues this, because they could try to deport her, but I just think it would be a losing case.
It certainly, Jeff, I mean, it has a chilling effect if for a country which has always said they want the best and the brightest from all over the world to come and take part and help the United States grow and get even better and be on the cutting edge of technology and stuff, to tell all those people who are coming, oh, by the way, you can't express any opinion. That's interesting.
That's a very scary prospect, especially when, you know, immigrants have contributed so much. You know, people not born in this country, or even before they become naturalized citizens, you know, they run companies here. They contribute in so many different ways. And basically what this administration is saying is watch what you say, because if you express opinions that are contrary to what we interpret as what's appropriate, that you can get thrown out of the country. It's already hurt tourism, and it's going to hurt students coming to this country. It's a very big deal.
Judge, do you think she might get deported?
I don't think so. As said, if the only evidence is that she wrote an op-ed, there's no way. Even an immigration judge would say no to that, unless they come up with something more. She was here legally, student visa, lots of students. We're going to lose all our foreign students. We're going to lose a lot of revenue from that. So again, this is a very bad idea. I just wanted to say one more quick thing. At the end of Stephen Miller's little statement, he said, we'll see what the judges do. It depends if they do the right thing. That was another veiled threat against judges.
Judge Sheldon, appreciate it. You being on as always. Jeff Toobin as well. Just ahead, the administration fires the librarian.